Hi everyone, this is Core with minisgallery.com. This is a quick review video of the 43 miniatures that come with the Dungeons & Dragons Icons of the Realms Sand and Stone set, which will be released on April 19th of 2023. I would like to say thank you to WizKids for providing me with this set to preview. Overall, there are many great sculpts in this set. For the die-hard collector, you are going to see many miniatures that you already own lots of, accompanied by a few minis which we have been waiting years for. For the casual or infrequent buyer of miniatures, you will find a lot of good useful miniatures in this set. I really wish the dust effect for the dust mephit was made from a smoky translucent plastic as opposed to what looks like a pile of mud to me. So often I do see people criticizing the paint applications on pre-painted miniatures, and I suspect this set will also attract some similar comments. While I think it does have some well-painted minis, it also has some real missed opportunities. There are quite a few minis in this set that received very few paint steps, and while I am a big fan of using dark washes, if the only paint steps that are being applied is to paint on a single base color and then apply a dark wash over top of it, then I do become a little concerned over the future viability of this line. I am not at all familiar with the Nagpa. However, I am very familiar with the Dark Crystals Skeksis, and that is all I can think of when I see this mini. I think the sculpt of this Kruthik mini was really well done and was suitably painted. I really wish they would have used at least two different tones of green when painting the flying snake, as it just looks very cheaply done. However, I do like that the eyes on this very small mini are well detailed. While I do think that there could have been some additional paint steps applied to some of these minis, I really do appreciate that many of the minis now are receiving much finer detailing, such as the eyes, tattoos, and symbols that are frequently stamped on the minis, such as the little eye symbol on the hand of this priest. I am a little disappointed with the beetle swarm, as there is no paint applied to this pre-painted mini. In the very least, it would have been nice to have a dark gray highlight dry brushed across the top to help give the mini a little better appearance. Wasp wings are typically quite transparent, and I really wish they would have just cast the Wasp Swarm Mini in a smoky black, transparent, or translucent plastic, rather than just painting the wings black. I quite like the Werebore Mini, and I think it got a pretty good paint application. I do make frequent references to the paint application of these minis, and I try to be mindful not to evaluate them by considering if I could paint them better, but instead I review these on the merits of a small mass-manufactured hobby item that I did not have to paint myself. For me, pre-painted miniatures represent a huge time savings, which then provides me more time to spend on campaign and adventure preparation. I'm never really a big fan of just receiving part of a miniature, and despite how much I enjoy seeing fresh new sculpts, I'm not overly pleased with receiving a bullet bursting out of the ground. I feel that this Lamia was painted really well, as were most of the other large uncommon miniatures. The Camel Mini, I feel, was one of the largest missed opportunities in this set. Adventurers are likely not going to be fighting a herd of camels and will most likely be riding them. So in my opinion, this Camel Mini should have had a saddle. In the very least, they could have blended a lighter color on the camel's chest and neck so it doesn't look like a cheap Mini you would get out of a gumball machine. I quite like the fighting pose of this were-tiger, and the paint application wasn't half bad either. The blue dragonborn is a really nice sculpt, and I think the paint application was quite good. I think the Medusa is a good example of a mini that received a good amount of paint steps, including some dark washing and detailing. The adult Kruthik is also a great looking sculpt. However, I wish that this was an uncommon instead of a rare mini, as I would like to buy several multiples of this. There are a lot of nicely sculpted details on the Bone Knight. However, I think the head could have received a little more detailing. I really like the action pose this Dragonborn is in, and it also received a good amount of paint steps applied to it. This Yuan-Ti received a very nice sculpt and paint application. While I certainly have more Mummy Lords in my collection than I will ever need, the added spell effect with the green translucent plastic was a nice touch on this mini. Dinosaurs don't typically feature prominently in most campaigns, but I'm certainly not adverse to receiving the occasional one, and I do quite like this Triceratops. Overall, this isn't a bad Chimera sculpt. There were some good attempts at blending on this mini. However, after having received the Chimera in the D&D Classic Collection Monsters A to C set, this Chimera just feels a little lackluster to me. I am currently running the Dragon of Icespire Peak adventure, and our next session will see my player characters face off with Gorthok the Thunderboar, so it is a great time for me to receive this mini. There was some blending done with a darker shade of brown on his face, but given that the final miniature in each set generally is a unique or feature mini, I really wish this mini would have received a highlight applied to all of its fur, or just some other extra details painted, just to help make this really unique mini really stand out and be the feature mini it should be. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to subscribe to see more of my quick reviews.